What's up, guys? So I didn't put out a video about these steering knuckles because I didn't have enough time to edit it before the last drift event that I did. And I know you guys saw my transmission fill plug video that happened after the drift event, but I got surgery on my arm 2 days ago, and I really can't work on the car, so I figured I would save the steering knuckle video for you guys for a while. I'm out of commission. So going into this video, before you watch, hit that subscribe button, like the video, even though you haven't seen it. It'll be helpful for you 3000 GT guys. But definitely subscribe to the channel, guys, because as always, there's going to be content coming for the rear-wheel drive 3000 GT drift car. So enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys at the end. What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're back in the garage. It's nighttime. Backed the car a little bit, covered it with some sheets, and I just got home from picking up the harness bar welded into the roll bar. So let me show it to you guys here. Pretty simple. It's a tube welded exactly where I had marked by a roll cage builder and Dominion Performance and Fabrication, the in-house roll cage builder there. And then I'll show you guys the knuckles that I got as well. But first, what I'm gonna do is get some truck bed coating. I love this stuff, super durable. And I'm gonna do the harness bar in truck bed coating, and then probably after, I'm gonna let that dry for at least a day, and then I'm gonna do the hoop in purple to match the rest of the car. First step is gonna be just to wipe the pipe down with some denatured alcohol. It is already raw, so there's no reason to have to strip anything off. So we'll just get some alcohol, and it'll wipe the oils from just people handling it all day off of the bar itself, because we want to make sure we get a good coating of the bed liner so that once the harnesses are wrapped around this, it will stay durable if they ever slide around or anything like that. So I'm just gonna shake the can here and just start out with a light dusting across the bar. We'll let that get tacky, and then we'll get this entire thing sprayed. And this here is one of the 3000 GT steering knuckles. This is the driver's side knuckle. So the stock steering setup is a rear steer configuration. It's a bolt-in hub on the VR4s, as opposed to the base models, which are a press-in hub. You get your strut pickup point, your tie rod pickup point here. So what we did, Dominion cut this guy, shortened it 3/4 of an inch, and welded the pickup point back on. There's still a lot of meat on here. I see some cars where when they already have short pickup points, so when they cut them, the pickup point's like all the way in next to the knuckle here. This is still very long, and I'm curious to see how much 3/4 of an inch shorter gets me when it comes to steering angle. We'll be able to get a good before and after, because these are a spare set of knuckles. I still have the stock knuckles on the car, so I'm looking forward to being able to truly see what the difference in steering angle is. So now I'm gonna paint these guys, and these guys are going purple. So we're gonna do the silver base coat first while that dries, and we'll see how they come out. All right, so we got these guys all painted up in purple. They're ready to go on the car. It's just a matter of when it's gonna stop raining after work consistently enough that I can. Now we're just gonna jump to the next clear day that I can get the roll bar in and the knuckles in. All right, guys, so we have the handbrake holes drilled. Instead of putting one here, I ended up putting one in the middle, because I want this area to be more tied down, because that's where a lot of the pressure is when you pull the handbrake. Our 5th point, got that all tightened, got the carpet a little flat tucked over there. And then what I did here was I trimmed the strip of carpet out so I could tuck the carpet around the cage, because before it's just like bunched up here and dirt and stuff would get behind it, and it didn't look too good because the carpet was never tucked in very well along here. So this is a lot cleaner now, and this is how this cage is going to stay for quite some time. Got that top bolt tightened. Again, I can't stop looking at this harness bar. I'm so hyped. But Now it's time to lower the seat in because we have the brackets tight, the side mounts tight, the handbrake is secure and tightened on the plate underneath the shifter, roll bars tightened in. I can move the whole entire car with this like I normally do when I push it. I also painted this bracket right here in some undercoating last night. It was kind of dingy looking, and I cleaned up all under there. It was pretty dirty and grimy, so while I'm doing this, I'm just taking the time and cleaning up what I can when I can, just because I like having a clean car. And there we go. We got the seat attached. We got the handbrake. We got the fifth point. We got this side done. So we're tied in. This came off. I'll have to like super glue that, have NRG at it. So we'll get that back on there. But this is tied in to the floor right there, the proper angle. The other side, I have to get under the car to do the nut on the back side of the bolt down there. But this is at the proper angle, yeah. This is at the proper angle as well, if I can learn to talk. And then you got these guys back here. Let's fast forward to yet the next day, and we're here under the car. This is the front left corner, and we are going to try swapping out the knuckle. Should be pretty easy. This red guy right here. It's going to be a matter of removing the brake caliper, removing the brake rotor, disconnecting the strut from the camber bolt here and the lower bolt here, disconnecting the new tie rod setup that we're running here. So that should pop out pretty easily. And then down in there, you can see the lower ball joint over here that we're gonna pop out as well. And then we'll take the axle nut off and take the stub out through here. So I'm gonna break all this down and I'll show you guys exactly what we did comparing one knuckle to the other. So now that the brake caliper is off, the rotor's off, the axle stub is out, everything's disconnected. We have the stock knuckle right here, and then we have the modded knuckle right here. So as you can see, pickup point has changed. It's about 3/4 of an inch inward. So my only fear, for the reason that I may not be able to install this today, is that it's gonna screw up my alignment and I'm gonna need stock size tie rods again, which I have, but I don't have the tie rod tool. And honestly, I'm not doing these guys without a tie rod tool this time around. But then it's gonna screw up that alignment I just paid for 2 weeks ago. So I'm gonna put it on. I already knocked the lower ball joint loose. So I'll take this guy off. And then I'm going to slide this guy on, even though it doesn't have a hub right now. I'm gonna try and see with this thing attached what kind of toe I'm working with, because I feel like I'm gonna have some toe out in order to get this guy to line up. So it doesn't seem like toe is gonna be too terrible as of yet. Well, let me line this guy up here. And we'll throw that guy in there. Throw the castle nut on. We will have some toe out, but sometimes a little bit of toe out will help us self-steer while drifting. Give you a little more angle on that inside wheel, but I'm not touching the tie rod in case I decide to go back to the stock knuckles after the event this weekend. But I think if the other side goes smooth, we might just send it as is for the event this weekend and hope that we don't rub too bad. But we'll find out once this side's done how bad I might be rubbing, if I will be rubbing, and then potentially use a slip-on spacer if it can get us some more clearance or whatnot, and kind of go from there. But so now what I'm going to do is, actually I jumped ahead here, I should not have put this in. I'm going to go ahead and reattach all the suspension components. Now the order that works best for doing this is starting with the lower ball joint. So I'm basically reversing all the steps that I've already taken. So when you're disassembling, it's going to be this order, which I'm sure you've already figured out if you're doing this at home. So we take the nut for the lower ball joint. We'll start with that guy so that we have the room to access it. And then after that nut is tight, we will take the axle stub that I use to hold the wheel bearing together. That goes in here. Then we do the axle nut in the front. Then what we do is swing it around. You can throw the tie rod end in like I just did with the castle nut, and then connect the coil over, and then put the brake caliper and rotor back on, and you are good to go. Alright guys, we're back together. We got the XXR drift wheels in the front with the 20 mil spacers, and it's the moment of truth on how much steering angle the knuckles are going to give us. Holy crap. I believe that's bottomed out. I don't think that's rubbing. Let's see. No rubbing on the fender wells there. We have a pretty good amount of steering angle now from the car. Looks like I'm going to try and do the other side, and hopefully it doesn't rub too bad.
So I realized after editing the video that I really didn't have that much of a closing to it. So that night I finished both sides for the knuckles, and what I ended up doing was putting the stock 3000 GT inner tie rods back in. I was running inner tie rods from like a Hyundai, some kind of Hyundai, that were shorter for when I ran the villain spacers only in the stock knuckles. So now that I had the 1/8 inch villain spacers and the shortened knuckles, I put the stock 3000 GT tie rods back in, inner and outer, and that setup gives me plenty of adjustability for tow. I align the car in the driveway and everything's straight, so we're good there, but I am going to be putting it on the rack again and adjusting it to give myself a little bit of tow out on each side, just to help with getting a little more angle on the inside wheel at full lock, and then self-steer with the car in general. The seats are complete. Everything went smooth with that. I drove the event with the new NRG seats. The harnesses do take a little more time to get in and out of, but I love the feel. I sit lower. My head isn't banging the ceiling with my helmet, and everything is just so much nicer there. Next up, we're probably going to be doing Club Loose fall moves in a couple weeks. 22nd of September, I think it is, something like that. And that's going to be the next Target event. We're going to do some stuff to the car between now and then, like a motor mount, a rear motor mount, which I'm not looking forward to doing. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, check out my Instagram down below. I'm always posting almost daily on there, whether it be in the story or a post. And we'll see you guys next time.